welcome to quarantine cooking with Rick and Mom. It's day 3. I got a new camera and we decided to shoot a video. And Mom's gonna make, what are you gonna make?
I'm gonna make summer squash soup.
Cool.
So this is a squash that we grew this summer. And we had a pretty good crop of squash this summer. So we've been using them in various ways, and this is our first attempt at summer squash soup.
Sorry about the sound, we're just using the onboard sound on the camera right now, so might be a little iffy, but... Alright, so we're gonna cut this up.
Yes. So the big thing with squash is to be careful as you're cutting, because it can be quite tough to cut. So usually what I do is I take the ends off first, and those are just discarded. Try to remember to compost if you can. And now down the side here. This squash is not too hard to cut. Some of them get quite tough to cut. But this one has been cooperating for our video. So now that we're into it, I will take a spoon and scoop out all the pulp and the seeds. Now, if you can put that bowl off to the side for us, Rick, and get another one out and start measuring our cups of squash.
Cups?
6 cups. Now, if that is 6,
It's about 6.
we're going to put a little bit more because I haven't been chopping them that finely, and so you don't get quite as much in. So we're going to do approximately,
7.
We'll do a little bit more, but I was thinking approximately that bowl full to get our 6 cups. Because when we start to cook it, of course, it will cook down so much, and when you puree it, we want to make sure that there's enough for the 3 of us for lunch. So it says for 2 onions for this recipe. And again, the recipe, since we're quarantined, we didn't have quite everything. So we're just making it up a bit as we go along. But I have written down what I'm actually going to do, so that if the soup turns out, I can duplicate it. Let's see if we can get this one going here. There we go. And if you're home with your children and you have any type of microscope, onion skin is one of the few things that you can actually see the cells in with a limited microscope, which would be kind of cool for the kids. Okay, so now I'm going to cut up the onion, and I'll get Rick to put our onion scrap in our compost bowl. Frozen leeks. I'm just going to pop them out. I let them thaw for just a few minutes. They thaw very quickly. And I'm just going to pop them out of the bag. I had froze them. And I'm just going to give them a bit of a chop up as well. They're still a little bit frozen, so we'll see how well they chop, but it should be fine. As in most houses, everybody seems to have a good knife. And in our house, this is the good knife. It is used for most everything and is quite sharp still and always in the dishes. So, first thing we'll do, we'll put our 2 tablespoons of olive oil into the pot. So now we're going to add our onion. Make sure we've got that in, and we're going to add our leeks. Because the leeks have been frozen, of course there'll be a little more sizzling as the water boils off. There we go. And we get that stirred. Maybe turn our heat down just a little. Just don't want it to fry up. And now we're going to add our garlic. I have, the recipe calls for 6 cloves of garlic, but I have this minced garlic. So that's approximately 3 tablespoons according to this jar. And we do like our garlic. Comes from living in Cook's Creek. So it might be a little bit of a generous intake. Now we'll let that cook up for a moment as we continue to stir it. And once we've got that a little bit more cooked up, then we will be adding our chicken broth, our squash, and our thyme. Now, the recipe I found was a little bit redundant because it called for reduced sodium chicken broth and then it called for salt. So I just went with regular chicken broth and we're going to leave out the salt. And just get that, we're going to have to let that cook up for a moment. This is looking pretty good. It's smelling great. You don't want to overdo it. So I think we're pretty much ready to start adding the rest of our ingredients, and then we can start simmering our soup. So we're going to add our chicken broth. And we have 4 cups of chicken broth here. So we'll add our 4 cups of chicken broth. And then we will add our 6 or 7 cups of squash. Boom. And we will get that. That will be cooking up for us. We'll turn that up just a little to get it boiling. And now we will be adding 2 tablespoons of apple juice. It's for a little bit of acidity. You could use lemon if you prefer. Apple happens to be what I have on hand. And apple and squash do go well together. So there's 2 tablespoons of apple juice. And now we're going to add a teaspoon of thyme leaves. You could also use fresh thyme if you prefer. A couple of sprigs of fresh thyme. So there's a teaspoon of thyme leaves. And it suggests 1/8 of a teaspoon of hot pepper sauce. Now I'm probably going to be a little bit more generous than that. This is the Bayesian hot pepper sauce that we brought back from Barbados. Where is it? You know what? I'm going to do this over a dish because I'm a little concerned that it's going to come out all at once. And there is a generous 1/8 of a teaspoon of hot pepper sauce. Of course, you can use any type of hot pepper sauce you like. We just happen to have the Bayesian hot pepper sauce. Now we will give that a good stir to blend everything together. And now we'll be letting it simmer and get the squash all cooked up. We need to get that boiling and then simmering. To garnish the soup, we're going to add a little bit of grated cheddar and grated emmental for the top. So I'm just cutting a little piece of cheddar so it's easier to grate. And I'll just be grating a small amount of that. Now the recipe only calls for a tablespoon, but we are definitely a cheese family, so I'm going to do a little more than that. And the recipe did only call for one kind, but since I have the two kinds of cheese, I thought perhaps a little blend might be nice. So we've got the cheddar grated, and we're just going to grate a little bit of the emmental. I won't grate quite as much of that because it is a stronger cheese. Okay, so we've let our soup simmer for a good half hour, and now we're ready to puree it. Now you can take it all out, take it out in small batches and put it in the blender to puree it, but I find that just using the handheld blender right in the pot is less messy and just as effective. Just got to be sure that you, as you're coming up, you turn it off so you don't spit everywhere.
The camera.
Well, I'm amazed, Rick, that we got through this with as little back and forthing as we did. So a couple of spits might have got on your camera.
Yeah. Yeah, the comedy was not there that people were expecting. I go into professional mode now and I'm filming, apparently.
And I go into, ooh, I don't know if I like to be on camera mode. So that is looking pretty darn good. I think we're just, that looks, I don't like it too pureed. I like a little bit of texture yet. But of course you can adjust that to whatever you prefer. And that is very simple instead of taking it in small batches into a blender. Now I'm just going to dish this up a bowl of soup. And of course the big test is, how does it taste? So, dish this up a bowl. There you go. And that one. And then we'll just take and garnish it with a little bit of emmental. And for each one, a little bit of emmental and a little bit of cheddar. And we have some salt and pepper for anybody that wants to add that. And of course, you could add a little more hot sauce if you choose. And we are ready.
Alright, should we try it?
Of course, you should try it.
Mmm. Oh wow.
Is it good?
Oh, it's really good. Oh my.
Ooh, that turned out better than I expected.
Yeah, me too. Alright, well, I'll make this video. Gonna try to put the recipe throughout, and then there'll be put the recipe in the description of the video as well if you'd like to try making this soup. Thanks for watching Quarantine Cooking.
Enjoy.
Oh. It's fabulous.
It is, actually.